It's 9 o'clock from our studios in Banjul. Welcome to the week's ending edition of the Good Morning Africa, right here on Africa TV and wherever you are. Once again, thank you very much for joining us, and we are very much happy to be back again to take you through in what would be another very interesting, of course, an informative edition of the program. And of course, we are getting into the weekend, and we of course want to bring a very interesting program to discuss, and of course to end the week on a high note, getting into the weekend before we will return next week Monday, inshallah. But for now though, we have some very interesting stories to bring for you. Like I said, we will of course talk about COVID-19, the statistics and so on, how Gambians has viewed the government response to the COVID-19 pandemic. There's a survey done by Afrobarometer. We will tell you or bring you a report on that. And of course, we will also cross borders and head to South Sudan and talk about the United Nations peacekeeping mission in the country, because the United Nations believe it's time to, of course, to reduce the presence of the peacekeepers in the country. We will also bring you a report on that. We will also later on, of course, have a guest, and we will discuss about the, as always we do, the issues and matters of the country. We discuss about so many things that we believe Gambians are interested of or want to know, want to hear about. It's national concern, and we would, together with you, share our ideas and discourse, as always we do. So once again, Ramadan and of course Juma Mubarak, once again to all of you watching, of course, whether at home or outside the country. As always, we say thank you so much for the trust and for the privilege of your company. Well, mbokk yi ñu ngi leen di nuyu beneen yoon fii ci Africa TV. ñu amaat mbégte dellusiwaat bu baax a baax tey ci suba si la comme ni ñu koy defee saa su ne àndaat ak yéen ci beneen jotaay. Xam ngeen ne mbégte lay doon saa su ne ñu jàkkaarloo ak yéen ci suba si la ci programme bi di Good Morning Africa. Ñu war see waxtaan ponk yu am solo, waaye tamit digtal leen suñuy xibaar dalal ci ay gan ñu waxtaan tolluwaay réew mi ak tamit luñ jàpp ne soxal na yitteel na Gambien si bu baax a baax, ndax loolu rek moo am solo ci jamono ji. Su ko defee ñu nuyuwaat leen bu baax di leen wax Juma Mubarak wala sax Ramadan mu Karim, di leen ñaanal jàmm bu baax fi ngeen mënta nekk ñi nekk ci biir réew mi di ànd ak ñun, waaye tamit ñu nekk ci biti réew ñu ngi leen di jaajëfal bu baax di leen gërëm, waaye tamit ci safo bi ak ci kóolute bi di leen wax jërë ngeen jëfati ci loolu. Su ko defee tey ñu fas yéene waxtaan ponk yu am solo, dana ci bokk ci wàllum COVID-19. Fa am ñi nga xamante dañ def taxaw seetlu ci taxawaay nguur gi ak yu mel noonu, ñu waxtaan ak Gambien si niñ ko gisee ak tamit alal buñ ci dugal ndax dugal na dem na fu mu war a dem ak yu mel noonu. Su ko defee am na li nga xamante ne report buñ leen war a digtal léegi ci loolu. Leneen ci tëngal li nga xamante ne nañ ko waxtaane ci biir réew mi dana ci bokk, kon nañ jalal suñuy gan ñu waxtaan tolluwaay réew mi ci yu bëri dana ci bokk ci wàllum dund gi ak yeneen ci réew mi jamono bi fu mu toll. ñu ngi ci koor gi, xam ngeen ko, jafe-jafe dafa mel ni mu ngi gën a tar ak yu mel noonu. foog ñu waxtaan en tant que réew, ñu seet lan lañ ci mun a def ba ñu am solution ci jafe-jafe. Su ko defee di leen wax jërë ngeen jëfati ci loolu, ñu soobu ci biir jotaay ji. Su ko defee ci kanam tuuti ñu gën koo yaatal inshallah. Well, once again, thank you for joining us, and we begin with a first story this morning, because a new survey conducted by Afrobarometer appeared to show 75% of Gambians express mistrust of the government's COVID-19 statistics. Now, they believe that some or a lot of resources intended for the pandemic response were lost to government corruption, the survey revealed. Now, there are Gambians who still don't believe in the existence of the deadly pandemic in the country. Some, however, believe that government has been doing well in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. As more of that in this report.
Afrobarometer is a pan-African non-partisan survey research network that provides reliable data on Africans' experiences and evaluations of democracy, governance, and quality of life. The survey has shown different views of Gambians with regards to the COVID-19, ranging from the Ministry of Health situational reports to government's responses to the pandemic, among others. However, 75% of Gambians already have a mistrust in the COVID-19 situational reports periodically published by the Health Ministry as cases get recorded. Still on the survey, the majority of Gambians approve of government's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic, but few trust the government to ensure that vaccines are safe. While vaccination rollout in the Gambia began in February, only 2 in 10 citizens say they are likely to try to be vaccinated, while most believe that prayer is more effective than a vaccine in preventing COVID-19 infection. The research further showed that while most Gambian households receive government assistance to help them with the pandemic, more than half think assistance was not distributed fairly, and an even larger majority think COVID-19 resources were lost to government corruption. The key findings include 8 in 10 Gambians, that is 79%, say their households receive government assistance to help mitigate the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. A slim majority, 53%, says government assistance was not distributed fairly, while fewer than 1 in 4 citizens of 23% says they trust the government somewhat or a lot to make sure that COVID-19 vaccines are safe. About 7 in 10 citizens of 69% believe that prayer is more effective than a vaccine will be in preventing COVID-19 infection, including 52% who think prayer is much more effective. The Pan-African Research Network says it conducted face-to-face interviews in the language of respondents' choice with nationally representative samples. A previous Afrobarometer survey was conducted in the Gambia in 2018. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Mariama Cham.
Yes, some Gambians definitely do not believe that COVID-19 exists. But as you heard from the report, there 75% of Gambians express mistrust of the government, response to the COVID-19 pandemic, especially with the resources that were of course, generated for the COVID-19, to fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. But also, a lot of Gambians also believe that the position and the response was positive. I don't know, but then whatever it is, there are misconception, if you like. Or should I say, they are contrasting, rather, views, the way Gambians perceived the government's COVID-19 response. Some, about 75%, according to the report, believe they are mistrust. There were some issues, or not everything was done as expected. But of course, others also believe, the position or the response was good. But of course, you should expect that. In whatever the case may be, others would say yes and others would say no. And probably, but 75% of Gambians express mistrust, express concerns. So I think there's a lot to also talk about that. Or there's a lot that people need to know, probably that are not known as apparently as to the way and how the government have responded to the COVID-19 pandemic. So there you go. Su ko defee comme ni ngeen ko gisee ci report bi ci mbas mi ay biram ci nguur gi nu ñu taxawee xeex feebar bi wala mbas mi ci réew mi. gis-gis yi dañ ci wuutee ci Gambien si am ñi nga xamante ne daal dañ gis ne taxawaay bi des na lool te gis nañ ci ay njuuj njaaj ak yu mel noonu yaakaar nañ sax loolu am na ci yëf yi ñeneen nag nee nañ waa nga ci ngaalaama ci nguur gi taxawaay bi am na solo ci nuñ taxawee ku ne ak noo ko gisee waaye ci téeméer boo jël dafa mel ni juróom-ñaari fukk ak juróom ci nit ñi ñoom dañ gëm ne am na ay mistrust mooy ay njuuj njaaj ak li nga xamante ne mooy dafa mel ni am na lu jaarul yoon ci doxalin bi ak yu mel noonu lañ ko gisee waaye nag li mënta am foog ku nekk nga am noo ko gisee parce que tamit yëf yi noonu lay demee ndax am na ñi nga xamante ne gëm nañ ne taxawaay bi amaana am na solo waaye nag ñeneen ñi ne déedéet waroon naa gën a baax te tamit ñoom sax gis nañ ne du ñàkk sax am na ay mbir yi nga xamante ne doxalin bi leerul ci seen gis-gis loolu nag Afrobarometer ñoom ñoo dal di def survey boobu ñoo def gestu bi waxtaan ak Gambian si xam naa ne ñu génne statistique yooyu ku ne nag ak noo ko déggee ci nuñ ko waxee su ko defee ñu wéy wax ci leneen ñu utali Nigeria wax ci wàllum Boko Haram xam ngeen ne ñoom tamit seen taxawaay ak tamit lu ñuy def ci réew mi ba léegi mu ngi continuer am ñu bari di see ñàkk seen bakken ñu ànd ak report bi den ñu dellusiwaat. We'll move on from that report of the COVID-19 statistics on the government's response to the COVID-19 pandemic in the country. Now we would move to Nigeria, and where several people are reported killed, including children, with dozens more assumed kidnapped by Boko Haram militants during an attack on Nigeria's Kwempre village. Now, the school and the church in the village were reduced to rubble. Close to 5,000 people were said to have been displaced by the attack and are sheltering at a home in Adamawa State in the northeast Nigeria. And Omar Ahmad Toure tells us more of that.
Kopri residents were seen abandoning the village, with school, church, and residential houses burned after the Boko Haram attack that took place on Friday. The attack forced thousands of residents in the area of Adamawa State to flee their homes and to find a temporary shelter in nearby Hong. Nubia Helde, a displaced resident from Kopri, says she was threatened by the militants who told her not to disclose information to anyone as they are visible everywhere.
I was warned if anyone asked me questions about what happened to me, I must not say anything to anyone. I am afraid because they told me that they are all around me. They said we are all together in the same place and at all times. I heard only gunshots. I ran and hid somewhere with a few people, but we were discovered by some men in army uniforms. They took us away. They brought us to this place here. We thought they were soldiers, but eventually they were only disguised. They were our attackers.
Andrew Joseph says the militants killed 3 members of his family when they wanted to abduct his wife, but he insisted on not leaving her behind unless they kill him too. He adds that the militants later escorted him and others out of the village.
And they followed me with that car. They tell me, say, if I not come back, they will kill me. I tell her, say, better you should kill me. Better you should kill me. Because when I don't carry my wife, go, what I'm already do, I don't know what is going. That is the only thing that I know it's about us. Because, and my sister and my elder brother, they don't kill him. And my uncle too. They don't kill us. And they carry my elder Pekin too. They don't carry us all. I don't know when they.
The displaced families have been given a temporary shelter at home in Adamawa State of northeast Nigeria after the deadly attack. Some local media reports that about 5,000 people were displaced from the Kopri village, but the exact number could not be confirmed. On Monday, Boko Haram terrorists launched a similar attack in Dikwa town, not far from Maiduguri, the capital city of Borno State. However, the terrorists were said to have been chased away by military jets, but they set ablaze a UN office and a hospital among others. About 3 million people have been displaced and 35,000 killed in over a decade of terror attacks in Nigeria, according to a UN report. For iAfrica TV, this is Omar Ahmadu Toure reporting.
Omar Ahmad Toure reporting there on a very unfortunate and deadly Boko Haram attack in one of the villages, of course, in east Nigeria. These are, of course, this is among the very latest attacks that has happened in Nigeria, and of course, among the people that were affected or been killed were, of course, children also and women, as you can see in that report. It's really a very sad and, of course, if not dangerous situation, as we will say, and it's just quite unfortunate that this dangerous thing, attacks and all that, continues to happen. The government says they are doing their utmost best to make sure that they will curb these dangerous attacks on people, and of course on innocent people, I have to say. But then so unfortunate that it keeps on repeating, and it's seemingly not ending at this moment. But we only hope that the authorities would do more than they are doing right now to stand against this brutal attacks on innocent people, and then who are definitely been affected in many ways. These are very serious things. We'll move on quickly, of course, from that report in Nigeria, of course, on another Boko Haram attack in the northeast of the country. We would now come back home and report on irregular migration, the famous backway syndrome, if you like, in the Gambia, and of course lack of job opportunities and many other things has been attributed to the root causes of the perilous journey to Europe. Now, sometimes for months on end, young Gambians risk everything, including their lives, to take on the perilous journey across dozens of borders and the deadly waves of the Mediterranean Sea in search of a better life in Europe. With few jobs and dim prospects at home, most of these young people complain they are being neglected by their government for failing to create opportunities for them to succeed in the Gambia. But as Binta Jallo reports, there are still a good number of Gambian youth who are striving hard to make a living, saying enough opportunities are available for them to be successful in the country.
With few jobs and dim prospects at home, thousands of Gambian youth still chose to migrate through the perilous journey across dozens of borders to get to Europe. However, huge chunk of the citizens still have the firm belief that they can make it here without having to risk everything through the deadly journey. We gauge the opinion of some youth who are striving to earn a living here in the Gambia without going through the back way. And here is what they had to say.
I will say that I was like part of those tempted to do that, to try the back way. But for now, no way, I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, since we started this, I can say, and we're doing the, the advertisement on the social media, things like that. So the Gambians are, so every day I can say that I receive calls of congratulations, of people happy to see this kind of things in the country. And well, I can say for me, I'm not going anywhere for now.
It depends what is in your mind. As for me, I can't stop working as a car cleaner. I was born here and I lived here. Out of this car working business, I was able to do a naming ceremony for all my kids. Even one of my kids is currently in Tuba learning, and I'm sponsoring him from this business. So for me to stop working here, only if someone gives me something very concrete to hold on.
But some of the youth, however, blame the government for failing to stem the flow of irregular migration. Speaking to iAfrica TV, the Secretary General of Migrants Returnees in the Gambia, Mustafa Sallah, said the government is not doing enough to stem the flow of citizens migrating through the perilous and deadly journey.
Yeah, let them come to our aid. Let them support the returnees, the groups, because right now we are having 2 returnees group fully active, Right now we are recognizing the work that we are doing, but we don't have any support from our government. When I say support, because right now we should have got our office, we should have, implement our own activities from our, by ourselves, or from our government. But most of the support that we are having is from these external NGOs like IOM or UNICEF, It's good also to get support from them, but the principal support should be from our government.
Mustafa Sallah and other youth lamented lack of enough capital that could help ease the difficulties that they are faced with. Some analysts say the irregular migration also plays a significant role in the Gambian society. According to Central Bank, the Gambia's remittances figure hit all-time high to a staggering $578.5 million in 2020, despite COVID-19 pandemic. This contributes to 48% of the country's GDP, and this includes monies sent home by irregular migrants. For African News, Binta Jallo.
All right, Binta Jallo reporting there on irregular migration, or of course, like I said, the backway syndrome, if you like, that many of the youths or the young people are blaming the Gambia government not doing enough to cope the irregular migration in the country. But of course, to some, they're not, of course, tempted to go because they believe in what they believe and they are doing their bit on their own way. And for that, they think it's enough to keep them in the Gambia, not to risk their own life using the Mediterranean journey. Of course, the deadly journey, if you like, so many risks are involved. But again, that's something else, and then you look at it in any way that you want to, and of course these are divided or debatable opinions or things as it continues to happen. It's, of course, there are efforts done by many sectors to curb the migration or the the irregular migration thing or journey, but whatever, it seemingly has been difficult because the young people or people are still persistent and they're still going through the Mediterranean. We will hopefully discuss about that in a moment because our guest, I'm glad to say, has already joined us in the studio. But our last story before we get to that will be in South Sudan because after several years of peacekeeping mission in the country, the United Nations say relative peace has returned into the country. Now, it is now initiating peace-building processes. The UN mission in the North African nation has outlined plans that will see the reduction of its troops in the country, and there has been a growing concern in the delay of implementations of the 2018 peace deal between the central government and rival forces. Here's more details of that in this report.
The United Nations mission in South Sudan says relative peace has now returned to the country. It announced a plan to shift its focus from protecting civilians who were fleeing the 6 years of violence to peace-building efforts. The UN has now handed over displaced people's camps to South Sudan's government.
As I said when I came to South Sudan, our success will be measured by the downsizing of our presence. That has started. Over the coming year, there will be a reduction of our military and police peacekeepers by around about 7%.
There are currently 17,000 UN troops and 2,000 police officers in South Sudan.
South Sudan's government says reforming the security sector is the major challenge it faces. The reforms were scheduled to be carried out before formation of the unity government, but more than a year after the new government is formed, the security sector is not yet reorganized.
A peace deal signed in 2018 outlined how security sector reforms should be undertaken in South Sudan. The former rival armed forces are to be unified, retrained and redeployed. They are now unified, stationed in 17 camps across the country, but they are yet to be redeployed. South Sudan's government says it is working to expedite the peace process.
We need a stronger, unified security sector. According to the letter of the agreement, this time around, for us to fix the security sector of South Sudan, we need to have a professional national security sector, a non-partisan one that is representative of the diverse faces of South Sudan, regional diversity, ethnic diversity, in that force.
South Sudan's government says the planned reduction of the number of UN peacekeepers shows that lasting peace is about to return to the country. However, many here remain unsure of that, arguing that the implementation of the peace deal has been slower than earlier expected.
Thank you very much from that report there. As you can see, South Sudan, of course, the United Nations want to end or reduce its troops in the country. It has been after a long years of mission due to the, of course, many years of civil conflict in the country. The United Nations and other partners step in to make sure that peace return. And, as far as the United Nations mission in South Sudan is concerned, now peace is relatively returning into the country, and thereby it's time to for them to start initiating peace-building processes to allow the South Sudanese people to take their own country, or to be responsible of their own country, and of course try other means to make sure that they will support them, to make sure that the peace that have been fought for many years it's been maintained. Everyone knows since since there was an independence in South Sudan, almost there has been an ongoing conflict between rival forces and the central government as to who would lead the country or who should do what. But I think it's high time they come together as a country and move on. Like I said a few days ago, you look at Rwanda today. Is a country that everybody talks about. It's a country that many other countries, not only in Africa, looked at and said, wow, after all what have happened, some 27 years ago, they came together as a country and they moved on. They built their nation, and today they are a reference. They are a country to to be looked at. They are a role model, if you like, to many other countries, especially in Africa. But South Sudan, I hope they would move on now as a country. And from that, we come back home and discuss on our own matters now. And like I said, this morning, of course, we going to discuss about so many things, so many matters and issues in the country. And I'm glad to say joining me to do that this morning is Esa Damfa of the NPP. That's, of course, the President Barrow's political party. He's the president, by the way, but also he's the leader of the National People's Party, that's the NPP. su ko defee mbokk yi ñu ngi leen di gërëmaat baax ci ni ngeen di ànd ak ñun gannaaw report boobu ñu dellusiwaat ci waxtaan bi comme niñ ko baaxoo di defee saa su ne xam ngeen ne surtout ajjuma dañooy ñëw yaatal waxtaan bi waxtaan ci yu bari gis ngeen si week bi yëpp dalal nañu ay gan daanaka ñu waxtaan tolluwaay réew mi loolu rek mooy li am solo ku ne ak sa gis-gis waaye bu ñu waxtaanee ñu jàpp ne dana am lu ci feeñ luy njëriñ nit ñi njëriñ tamit ci réew mi ndax jafe-jafe yi dafa tar ci noonu ñu am mbégte dalal Essa Damfa mi nga xamante ne mu ngi fare ak président Barrow pour ñu waxtaan ci tolluwaay réew mi kon ni ma koy Mr Damfa Essa ñu ngi lay nuyu ñu am mbégte bu baax dalaat la beneen yente ci jotaay bi di la wax Ramadan Mubarak di la baalu ak ñu bàyyi la nga nuyoo ñi nga xamante ne ñoom ñooy seetaan.
jërëjëf Amadou. di la nuyu di nuyu the entire management of Eye Africa TV.
jërëjëf.
di wax askan bi yëpp. Ramadan Mubarak. incha allah ñun ñoo leen fi nekkal tey. di waxtaan boo xam ne dafa aju si yóbbu réew mi si kanam. so as you rightly mentioned.
yeah.
then we are here for the people.
yeah.
for this coming 10 or 30 of.
absolutely. Thank you very much. su ko defee noonu la li mu ko waxee ñun ak moom ñooy sekk waxtaan ci waxtu bu ñu am tey ñu war a nag waxtaan comme ni ma ko waxee lu bari xam na gis ngeen ne fan yëpp ñu ngi wax ci jafe-jafe yi ñoo dund surtout ñu ngi ci weeri koor bi lu ñuy dundee ci réew mi seer na taxawaay nguur gi ñu bari ñu ngi laajte nguur gi defut lu leen wax ñu ngi wax tamit impact COVID-19 bi amaana loolu tamit contribute na si Essa nañ wax gis-gisam si situation bi waaye balaa ñëw dugga ci loolu because dañu roon ñaari reports Essa léegi beneen bi sa amaana wax nañ ci ay yoon ñu gis ñu dooree ko ci because ñu ngi wax COVID impact bi right now ñu bari ñu ngi feel ne contribute na situation waaye dafa am statistic report bu génn survey bi nga xamante ne Barometer def nañ ko ci Gambien si ci nuñ gisee taxawaay nguur gi ci respond taxawaay mbas mi xeex mi ñu gis nag 75% according to report buñ génnee wax ne ñoom am nañ ci tey xel mistrust am na ci yëf yi ni nguur gi taxawee ci xeex mbas mi jàpp nañ ne ressources yi nga xamante ne yoo leen génnee am na fu mu war a demut fa njuuj njaay du ñàkk dugg na ci yëf yi noo gisee loolu donte ne tamit report bi tamit wax na nag am na Gambien si nga xamante ne apprécié nañ taxawaay bi ak yu mel noonu waaye 75% bu fekkee ne ñoom noonu lañ ko gisee fekkee report bi is anything to go by kon am na lu bari li nga xamante ne des na leer ci boppi Gambien si.
waaw jërëjëf. for first and foremost di congratulate ñoo xam ne ñoo partake that survey or that research. waaye pour man suma gis-gis bi. the outcome was very biased. It's never accurate. That's their opinion. But for me, it's never accurate, it's biased. How can you, there is no country in this world, entire world, that will say you satisfy your entire citizenry when it comes to this COVID-19 management issues. In the Africa, we've seen Gambia desut gannaaw when it comes to country ñoo xam ne ñoo teg lead pour gis ne mbas bi contrôle nañ ko 1 2 pour gis ne seen nit ñi sonnuñ luñ war a sonnee. The leadership quality of our leaders in this country manifested clearly because léegi soo xamee nii lan la government bi war a def si mbas first and foremost since day one dañ taxaw pour aider nit ñi lan la naka la ñoo faagaru naka la ñoo def lii They went to an extent. You close borders, you close airlines, airspace, you close land borders. Understand me? Among load, you downsize the workforce of the government mercenaries, including the parastatals. Among load, you cater immediately. You have violence. You cater for medicines and medical equipments. Through not only you control must it gives a big dividends.
Yeah, but
understand nga. Si biir Buganda bi ñu refurbish many health facilities ñoo xam ne dañ ko war a use as treatment centers.
Yeah, those are the positive side of things. Of course,
am
na Gambians. Waaw dama bëgg a wax rek xam nga fi nga dooree nga ne they are biased.
Yes.
I was gonna say because but then du ñoom they just did a survey. They talk to Gambians.
No, it depends.
Gambians yi ñoom ñoo leen wax loolu. Ba pare ñoom
xaaral ma wax la wax la loolu.
waaw ba pare di
xaaral ma wax la.
li ngay lim mi that's the positive side. am na Gambians yu gis ne tamit there's a bit that has been done. xëy na loolu ngay wax.
léegi dama bëgg lu tax ma wax is by why you have to furnish me also. ñoom ñu wax ne government bi gis-gisam au taxawaayam des na. ba ñoom tollu 75% of the population of this country. Daanaka jeex na. Government, that means nobody appreciated the effort of this government during this. Nobody.
No, but you cannot.
If you tell me 75%.
You already have 25%.
That is countless. You cannot just bank on 25%. That means it's meaningless. You said 75%. That means everybody said no. Nobody appreciated. That's what you are telling me.
Yeah, but then
that's the hard part.
According to the report, the problem is maybe you talked about the measures taken. Yes, that is good. But then the resources, Halis Bunjel, Halis in good before Portugal. That's where the problem is. Gambians in
no. Lu may ñëw. Waaw. Léegi ñu wax ne 75% ñu wax ne kontaanuñ au government bi defu dara.
No, waxuñ defuñ dara mooy.
Léegi lan mooy seen arguments.
Argument bi mooy the resources yi nga xamante ne government bi président bi wax na the millions of dollars that have been taken pour ñu fight pandemic fu ñu ko dugal they believe there's xaalis bi demul fu mu war a dem maybe there's in fact corruption ci yëf yi soo leerul ci Gambians yi because ba léegi maa ngi la doon wax ne reports yi ak yooyu Gambians yi nga ko laaj so maybe these are the things that Gambians are worried about and they are concerned as well.
If you're doing a research xam nga da nga war a am sa méthodologie bi ngay use.
Wow.
Bokk na si méthodologie yoo xam ne questionnaires research questions very important and you have to be neutrality don't give leading question to people you cannot just go nang nga gisee dégg nañ ne million bi dugga na de yow da nga xam ne fan la dugga et les man will tell I don't know xam nañ ne many Gambians here mënuñoo ràññee yow da nga dégg ne million si dugga na tubaab bi joo nañ xale nii doog ne yow gis nga ko man daal de ci laa ko dégg waa gis ma day wax loolu they automatically tell that and you write that one understand so that's why it's very important when you are impartiality of the researcher it counts a lot.
Yeah, but then you
understand léegi Gambian si dañ am kuréel boo xam ne moo seetu wàllu enquête government bi mooy di assemblée.
waaw
ndax président bi rek ak exécutif rek ñooy contrôle ñooy contrôle everything léegi nag lan mooy liggéey assembly bi in ensuring due diligence.
Yeah, that's another thing.
That's another thing. Good.
Yeah, that's another thing. But that would not stop Gambians also.
warloo joxoñ baaraam.
Wow, why not?
Rek to the presidency te lu may wax nii ñaata 85% am nañ for relief of Gambians am nañ ko ambulance yi yoo xam ne government bi procure na ko léegi yàlla ni ñooy dugga ambulance boobu noonu ndax loolu yëpp is not part of that COVID fight equipment xaalis boobu noonu fan la jógee understand nga garab boo xam ne dañ ko jënda soo demee si treatment center yow da ngay fay bu njëkk bi da ngaa gis ne Gambians yi su ñu demee quarantaine free la woon hôtel bi kan moo laa fay kan moo laa dundal foofu noonu ñu ngi gis ne yeneen country yi dañ dee wane yow yaa dundal sa boppa even ñoo xam ne dañ dee tukki ñëw Gambia government bu njëkk starting bi government moo la dee fere mooy spend on them so you know yow soo wayee ne government yi Gambia cegal si àdduna bi yëpp bu Afrique bi yëpp ban country boo xam ne moo taaw si loolu
ok
ban country la
What would you say now to you appreciate what the government have done?
Yeah, you know, I have no problem with those who says government have
because
done.
Because you think that's what
my problem be more researchers. You conduct research.
Yeah, but
how can you say 75% of Gambians? How do you do it? I challenge them.
They took their time to do
You can, in research,
because
look, if I do that research today, I will give you 80% will say yes to the president.
No, but you are not.
I will do it.
You are not independent because you are.
They are also not independent.
But how do you know?
I know them. Who presented the report? Who presented the report? Who conducted the research? How did he get the researchers? The connection. If you are biased to the government, you only bring people who are biased to the government to do research for you. I know, but we all know. People just hold brief on people. Even in your field, journalism, there's a journalist who here, they never said something what is happening. They only bank on the negative side of the government. They will not say any positive issue. We are laying foundation every time. Even tomorrow, I invited you at Farada Jambu.
Yeah, I heard of that.
But they will never say it in their media platforms. But if somebody killed somebody down there in front of Barrow government are needing. Now they apprehended those who.
Yeah, because Barrow is responsible for the country.
But if the good did, if he did good, he's not responsible for that.
No, of course he is.
If there's a Gambians who are saying, even this freedom, we are the one who even brought ourselves.
Yeah, but then
if you are not responsible of anything, you can never be accountable for anything. If you are saying that the president is not doing anything, then anything that goes wrong, he is not responsible of it. Let us blame ourselves on that. But people want to say anything positive, yes, we know what while anything negative, Barola. It's very unfair.
Yeah, but
that's what I said. Those who are conducting this research, I challenge them. Very biased. It never captivated the views and aspirations of the Gambians. It never.
Okay.
Yes.
That's your view.
That's my view.
All right. We'll move on. We just, of course, we're on a layer low, right? Parce que c'est la boca, c'est reporting. Another thing was this course. I think you watched it. About this irregular migration, Hale risk their life and they move on. Apparently, when this new government was coming on, but these were some of the issues they promised to Gambians. One in the former regime, you don't neglect, they were not doing enough for the youths, and people were being pressed, and they get down, they gain a bit. So there's democracy in this country now. But the situation, in fact, is becoming somehow, it's now worse because more people are going, young people, them. Lack of job opportunities, are not doing enough. And the worst, if you like, new them, and so if they come back, the government, in fact, is not helping them to do something. And you can see their Secretary General is saying the support that they are getting is not even from the government, from the partners, the YEP and other, IOMO and other partners, but the government is not seemingly doing much. What would you say to this? What's the problem? La moo tax nguur gi ñu diggee ba pare ndaw yi ba gisuñ taxawaay ndaw yi mu feeñ ci doxalin président Barrow ci nguuram bi.
Jërëjëf xam nga issue migration bi kenn du mën a tere nit ñi pour ñu bañ a tukki. Tukki is part of life.
tukki waaye tukki ci yoon.
yow de da nga answer question bi ba pare.
non waaw foofu laay wax waaye ñun tukki bu ñoo wax du boobu.
moo tax sa waxtaan bi neex na.
waaw waaye
because you give me you already this is an answer to it.
No, yeah, I am saying this because xam naa fi nga dem. ba pare waaw non tukki boobu du boobu la ñoo wax.
am nga maa ngi ñëw.
waaw du boobu lañ wax beneen bi la ñoo wax esa xam nga fi may wax.
problème bi mooy.
waaw.
kenn mënut a tere nit ñi. pour ñu bañ a tukki comme ñu duñ tukki. loolu mënut a am. mën a am. waaye li nga wax moo am. tukki bi war na jaar yoon.
waaw.
this is illegal migration.
waaw
xam nga tur bi seetal na boppam.
waaw irregular waaw.
Illegal migration lañ ko dee ooyee.
waaw.
Either irregular or regular, but it's illegal. We all know. Like when you want to travel, da nga am bànqaas yoo xam ne ak procédure boo xam ne loolu nga war a follow. soo followee loolu noonu. nga mën a tukki.
léegi nag balaa ngaa sori fu ma bëgg nga laal mooy. of course yaa ngi wax ne whether it is irregular or illegal whatever it is warut a am waaye léegi li ko indi li tax muy am. loolu foofu mooy issue the issue is mooy.
maa ngi ñëw.
opportunity amul.
gis nga even developed countries ñoo ngi tukki. even developed waaw ñaata tubaab lañu fi gis Gambia fi.
yaa ngi compare
you want to tell me that
you are missing the point.
No. I just want to give you empirical evidences that you assassin sometimes it may be wrong. Yeah. Yes, because
this
if you are saying,
this is not me
if
talking.
you are saying people, no, you are the one elaborating.
Yeah,
you are not the one talking.
Yeah, but this is
but now
Gambians.
here, you are the one holding brief for them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's why, good. So now I'm talking to you as you are the source of that information. Because we are defending them, you are sitting holding brief for them.
Yeah,
so I should talk to you like you are the person who is the source of that information.
Yeah, but you don't see me as a defender, by the way.
Good, you are defending.
No, I'm not.
Because when I say this, you counter me.
I want us to discuss.
We are discussing.
Yeah, I want you to clarify some of the concerns that they have.
I'm just saying, you said because lack of opportunities.
This is what not me saying.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
I want to believe.
I'm talking to them.
Yeah, I want to believe. I want to believe it's not the first time that you are hearing of these things.
Let me just come. What I'm saying, I am just trying to buttress more before coming into the the actual thing. Understand?
Wow.
You are saying people are traveling or people are embarking on this perilous journey because of lack of opportunities. That's what you said. I said yes, people do travel. Even if it's not like lack of opportunities, because we've seen a lot of developed countries, people travel. How many white men that we see in this country? Is it all of them? They lack opportunity down there. That's what they're coming to our country. It could be quite contrary. But Turkey is part of life. It's part of human nature. We cannot do away from it. You cannot just ask people not to travel. Now, how are you going to travel?
Well,
that's the point.
Look at what you're saying here.
No, I don't mind here.
But you should.
You know, if you embark your traveling lawfully, based on the norms and the values that are respected worldwide, you'll be treated like a dignified person. But you did it illegally. Now, let's come to that illegal process. You said people are desperate, youths are desperate, lack of opportunity, lack of job opportunities. I am saying this. Yes, it happens in previous government. All right? There's two types of migrants in previous government. Two types. One, immigrants, economic migrants. Two, political migrants. Am I not right? Political migrants and economic migrants. Some people partake in that journey because there was not political will or freedom of expression, or there's an oppression and suppression of political opponents in this country. Lack of democracy, per se. Others, lack of looking for greener per se. Now, today, who is traveling from the Gambia because of lack of political freedom? Lack of freedom of expression, lack of oppression of the regime. Who is traveling and claiming that yes, I am back, I am leaving the Gambia, the source of Gambia, because of that one? Yeah. There's nobody who will tell you that one. That is a plus.
Yeah.
That shows you now the marking is diminishing, is decreasing now. It's not like before. The other parts, many people who travel even in the previous government, they return back.
Yeah, you are
voluntarily, not because of they force them to come. International Organization for Migration, their intervention always is not about those who are forced to come. It's about those who willingly return to the soil of this country.
Willingly?
Yes, willingly. You say, now I'm willing to return back. They will possess you, and they ask the government to give you traveling documents. After that one, if you are rich here, they will give you a starting capital. Minimum of $60,000.
Yes, sir.
Minimum of $60,000. That's what International Organization of Migration is doing.
Of course, yes.
You cannot satisfy everybody.
Yeah, but
and now those illegal migrants there, who are looking for an asylum. Now, if your asylum bid is failed, and you now know clearly that you have to come back.
Yeah, but
two, some people there, they also did something that is unlawful in those countries.
You see, as I give you about 5 minutes or so to elaborate on this thing, but I think you're somehow missing the point here.
What is the point?
What I'm saying is, we are talking about this irregular migration. I'm talking now the root cause for the issue, and you would agree with me. This government, they promised job opportunities. Youth would have job opportunity would be created for the young people.
Yes,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, they are saying it's because of there are no job opportunities. This is the young people talking. You can see what they are doing. Yes, there are others. They said what they are doing, they prefer doing that than risking their lives on the Mediterranean.
Very good.
But for others, there are no opportunities as promised by the government.
Yes, okay. That's
the concern. Whether you
understand as a point. You're the one who just called me son. If not, I will.
No, but it's taking too long.
No, we are chatting.
Wow.
We are talking.
Okay.
You have to elaborate before you reach to the certain
point.
Okay.
Okay.
Job opportunity. There is no government in the whole world who will create job opportunity for all his citizens. Never. It never happens. Government be time what they do, national development plan.
Right.
They encourage private sector. That's why they give allocation of 29% for the private sector. So that private sector can see themselves in anything that is this government is doing.
And that is
conducive environment. Yo, says CDOB. Is it not during this new dispensation?
Wow.
Nyara television station ñoo am lancing. Nyara radio station ñoo am operational lancing. Nyara company ñoo sosu. Lolu yep, fan lañ dé amé nit ñi ndax dañ dé luas nit ñi from other countries. Are you not part of the youth of the Gambia? Today you are not thinking of going back.
Yeah,
how many staff that you have here?
I might be lucky.
That's what, and before.
I might be lucky to be here.
Good.
Yeah, but then many of people, young people like me, don't have the opportunity.
I am coming. What the government can do.
Government but the government have a responsibility. And they promise these things, Esa.
But this is part of their responsibility.
Yeah, this is what I'm
saying.
To
give enable environment government to showcase their talents in their own country.
Environment only?
Yes. Enabling environment to your boss to come and install or institute or register a television station. Hire young Gambians who can come and showcase their talents and earn their living, decent living. Is it not a plus? Previous government will seize that opportunity. They will not want to adhere.
But we have many radio stations were here during the past regime.
How many companies we are denying access? How many companies?
Even your government has been accused of that.
No.
The people want to come here and invest their company, but they struggle.
Who among them?
I cannot. I
who among them?
Then
there's an independent institution. You don't fulfill the regulations. Yeah, there's not like executive interference in vetting people
you
who want to just
you
come
read
and invest
on newspapers.
That's what. But that one.
They will tell you they struggle. They move left, right, and center.
That's not true. That's not true.
How can you say that?
Today, let me tell you one thing. Even if you bid for a contract in this country, you lose. You have all right to challenge the decision of the awarders. You have all right. And that right, that can give even court to say, yes, I bid and I fulfill all the criteria and I am denied. Yesterday, you saw it on standard. Some companies are complaining about the process that this Badinari highway. And they have all IEC project.
Yes.
When the other companies failed, they took the matter. And it was investigated.
Okay.
Now there's an independent of running of institutional operations in this country. There's no executive interference. So you say it's not qualified.
Okay,
you want to use your lousy mouth to at least to suppress people or to captivate people.
That's fine.
No.
Okay,
what this government is doing.
No,
I want to mitigate that one. Let me just come. You say opportunities.
I want to ask you.
You said
I want us to move on. Yeah, finally, and then you will. Then I turn to Ale Lord. Yep, for the last question on this thing, because I want us to move on. Now, for the, past 4 years, we are in the 50th of the Barrow's government now. Do you think Degantan, the Barrow government, have done enough for the young people to keep them here with opportunities, put you stay in this country and work? In your own point of view, do you think that has happened? Yes. If so, you give me 1 or 2 examples. Pour ñu sétan ak ndaw itam ñu xam, because to many, ñuy seetaan ak ndaw yi ñu waxal, then give Japan, the government is not doing enough.
Good.
They are not providing opportunities or producing opportunity for them as they promised when they were coming. So that's the problem. For nga tontuma, within a minute or 2, then we move on to the next final part of the discussion. Wow.
You cannot interject.
No, I would not.
In the interjection.
No, why interject? Why
you just want me to buttress? If I'm buttressing on points, listen.
Okay, now you go on.
First point, government behind ñëwé must study everything. Dafa create an environment to the whole Gambians. Jaay bi, business bi, government bi génnal ci loxam. We all see that previous government, they just interfere in the market. We have to give chance to the Gambians to control the market. Ku bëgg def business, demal nga jël sa lancé opération lancé nga dem def sa business. tout banking bi duñ daan charge ñu ne central bank moo leen dee di stop di leen charge understand nga boo xam ne soo buggee ñëw booro xaalis bi da ngaa fay interest bu bari central bank bi wàccee ko from 17% to 15% pour ñu mën a leb Gambian si commercial bank si mën a leb Gambian si ñu mën a def seen business. tout Ministry of Youth and Sports dañ am 20 million allocation for Gambian youth ñu ngi ko ooyee Youth Revolving Fund boo xam ne ku am sa métier oo ku bugg a def sa business waaye amuloo capital form bi mu ngi fa mun nga dem foofu noonu apply ñu ñu check sa application bi ñu fii la ñu jox la xaalis bi nga dem liggéey am na ñoo xam ne 250,000 ñu ngi leen jox am na ñoo xam ne 200,000 am na ñoo xam ne 500,000 ñu ngi leen jox depending on the size of your project. ñettal bi government bi dafa ñëw si national development plan bi ñu gis ne there is no government boo xam ne mun na create employment opportunity for all citizens. loolu mënut a am. private sector dañ la war a dolli la pour private sector bi am seen gis-gis bi si private sector bi war na sax loolu moo tax ñu allocate 29%. loolu moo lu mu firndil mooy. li nga daan fay before. to the government. soo buggee am lansin o njub jaaj bi ngay follow loolu yëpp dañ ko war a discorrect pour yow nga mën a ñeme pour establish sa own business bi nga mën a hire Gambians loolu moo tax tey dafa indi dividend bu rëy.
mooy lan
compagnie yu bari sos nañ fi institution ñëw nañ private companies yi am na media houses ñu ñaata la ñoom yëpp ñu ngi create employment to the Gambians.
yaa ngi laal si media house
waaw because yéenay nekk as critics despite that we have a lot of criticism from them.
Yeah, but Esa,
government bi jox na leen chance.
I don't want to operate. You said I shouldn't interrupt, but man, again, fi ma doon wax rek li ma fu ma bëggoon nga laal ba léegi laalaguloo foofu de because dama daan wax ne nguur gi lan lañ teg ci table bi loolu mooy wax ji parce que tamit li nga xamante ne 20 million bi yow out of you are talking about 65% of the Gambian population are young people, are youth. Yes. You are telling about $20 million.
What I'm saying, it's not about no, just allow me. I'm gonna waxuma ne benn rek.
Waaw
waxuma ne benn rek.
No, waaye boobu nga laal.
Waaye du rek de. No, but xanaa léegi ñaata company ñoo sos ñaata company ñoo hire people. company
yow gis nga lu fi xew people young ni yaa ngi company si dem nañ di struggle ba di wàññi seen
ban company mooy nekk di struggle.
No, loolu no duma tuddat benn company but yoo xam ne may wax no but not let me because of situation bi nu moo demee but
naka la demee.
No, especially yow xam nga ne covid bu mu ñëw nii.
Waaw government bi did not give them a relief.
may ma rek ma ñëw.
soo demee tourism sector 100 million da government bi alloqué jox leen ko. léegi ngi liggéey waaw because ñoo nekk di vulnerable institutions.
te ñoo gën a ñàkkal liggéey ay.
loolu moo tax government bi alloqué la 100 million. seedoon nañ ko def nañ 100 million. government def na ko. ñaata département la boo xam ne government bi even these small enterprises ñoo xam ne dañ leen wéef tax.
but ok that's
amoon na ndax amul.
waaw that's fine loolu am na waaye léegi.
dañ leen wéef tax
non waaye li may wax ok
man
I was just giving example because yow yaa ngi wax $20 million.
waaw loolu pour youth and sport rek.
this one youth and sport and even the starting nga xam nga sax if you look at the budget lu ñu allocate the young people in this country is very sad you know that.
That's what I'm saying. It's not sad.
No, it is.
Léegi 20 million bi dem leen ngeen exhaust ko. Su demee ba jeex génn tamit dana nekk si table bi. ñu ñëpp a gisee ne women enterprise fund bi am na.
If you know.
ñaata women kafoor yi ñoo xam ne dañ am youthful population in their kafos ñoo xam ne dañuy am seen fond si women enterprise fund.
ok
3.5 million euro. government mu ngi ko teg si table bi. loolu yëpp pour at least gis ne affaire bi mitigate nañ ko. léegi nii fu ñu wax nii am na $880 million boo xam ne government bi ratify nañ ko. pour agriculture.
fan la mu jógee.
agriculture waaw World Bank bi mooy government bi 100 million boobu noonu. ñetti bànqaas rek la. liggéey maaro liggéey végetable si. ak animal husbandry. loolu yëpp day
opportunity.
dañ joxe youth people chance pour ñu dem soo amee da nga bëgg a def cattle rearing poultry farming ak yeneen nga dem apply nga am sa poultry farm ñu sponsor la.
application ok. loolu
100 suñu joxee $100 $80 ngay fay $20 bi maye la loolu yëpp opportunité boo xam ne young people mun nañ ko grab opportunity la boo xam ne government bi teg na ko table.
So why do you think su fekkee ne loolu yëpp am na young people te ba léegi ndaw yaa
some
ngi
people
joytu
will prefer to go even yow da ngaa gis ne even sa doom sax boo xam ne yaa ngi am yëpp mu ne la maa ngi damaa dem nit ñi am na yoo xam ne dañ dee amee thinking ne soo demul Europe you are nothing jar na leen lu ne gis nga da ngaa gis koo xam ne mu ngi def business bu baax mu ngi am ay 100,000 200,000 mu jaay bu business boobu dem.
ok
karang-karang gi dem mu waaw.
fine
loolu yow doo mën a tere nit ñi
pour yow
soo leen fesalee xaalis bi foog ñu def.
Okay,
so
my understanding, yes. After 4 years, Barrow have done enough for the young people, and there are opportunities.
Yeah,
that's what we are saying.
There are opportunities, and there are still becoming, there are still be.
And yet still, many people are young people are living every day.
Are living, and they are living on their own accord.
No, but
their own accord.
Because
nobody
will
force them not to go.
No, conditions and situations are forcing them too.
No, which condition?
No, because of the way they are living. You live in your families. You don't have what to do.
You don't have what to do.
No, I mean,
you don't have
because the government said they were going to, create, let's say, companies or whatever.
But they are coming, and they are hiring people.
They are coming. You are saying after 4 years.
And many companies are registered already. The work is
factories and all that.
Now, just 3 days ago, there was a signing, 5-star hotel.
Because
and they will need more than 1,000 workers there.
The OIC summit.
That's also part of it.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So how many companies are here? Established the road construction companies hiring Gambian people. The government make it mandatory. That Hakalan Road, I'm telling you, the government said 30% of workforce should be from
Okay.
How many youth people now
are benefiting
from that area?
Okay,
because government make it mandatory on this Chinese company
that
at least 30% or this percentage should be given to them.
Okay.
Finally,
so
that also is mitigating the unemployment rate.
Great. Finally, Balanyo them. We'll talk on the latest development in the country and situation, and of course, what on Nigeria the other time, and that is the way people are living, the prices of basic commodities, food commodities, of course, is another thing. For Konata regulation of it, its situation is munge gana serious every time or every day. Last time we spoke here, young non again, very soon government binenchi def dara situation dafa change. Now we are into this Ramadan situation. Munge gana graw esa. The Minister of Trade Mwahnachi, they are working on it, but Gambians are not failing that. Lu ñoo def lan lu bees lu xew diggante bi nga fi jógee ak léegi li nga xamante li nga jàpp ne nguur gi def nañ ko waaye ba léegi gis nañ ne tey la gën a waalu gën a aay.
waaw jërëjëf si laajte boobu noonu.
waaw
as we speak now government dafa indi benchmark for cement xam nga cement léegi dañ ko categorize as part of basic commodities.
waaw
xam nga mu njëkk bi waxoon naa ak MC ne fii was not part of basic commodities waaye government bi léegi déclaré nañ ko. léegi dañ ko peeg boo xam ne kenn war na jaay ciment mu 3 or 5 di whole Gambia.
waaw
understand nga. as we speak now cement bi all 3 companies am nañ seen gaal bi dog na.
ñëw na.
So there will be no more scarcity of cement in this country.
Okay, very
and also there's an encouragement for other Gambians. You know how many they are listening and they want to venture into cement business. It's not like a monopoly. Nekkul na ñetti company rek moo war a indi cement. Ku bugga rek da nga duga yow tamit nga indi ko nga jaay ko it's a free market.
loolu neex
loolu affaire cement la.
loolu moom c'est positif.
affaire
léegi maalo
ak
diwlin bi
understand nga
soble ñoom pompe rek.
waaw boobu tamit as we speak now.
waaw
Minister of Trade they are conducting a press conference either day or Monday pour at least seen price boo xam ne price boobu noonu dañ ko jël nekkul ne government rek de ak business community xam nga waxoon naa la ne government pare na pour subsidize price bi.
waaw
loolu mu ngi si table bi léegi nii press conference boobu noonu mun na nekk yéen seen media house dinañ leen binda pour ngeen ñëw. danay ministre bi dina announce ne price bi ñaata la war a nekk su nekkul tey Monday da ngaa dégg press conference da nga ma xoolaat. So price boobu dañ leen ko pay comme lu ñu def ci ciment in consultation with business community ñoo xam ne ñoo dee order maaro ñoo dee order diwlin ñoo dee order lii government is not imposing on them waaye government mooy comme léegi du tax ngeen jaay li ñun ñu am a very high cost of fueling like transport pour indi maaro is costly shipment bi is costly su ñëwee fii mu taxaw balaa moo ñu dog bu ñu génnee ko ñu ngi koo fay every day loolu yëpp soo ko tegee foofu foog ñu jaay ko nii waaw government tamit mu ngi xool léegi nan lay noo mën a duggee suñu loxo bi foofu noonu pour at least ñu a gis ne askan bi enjoy nañ soo government boobu jàng boobu pare nañ ko léegi press conference dinañ ko def ministre bi wax mu indi quotation of price in consultation with business community yëpp dinañ ko seede incha allah loolu mu ngi si pipeline long term plan bi mooy balaa end of May xam nga ubbi nañ fresh application forms yi ñoom ne all anybody koo xam ne da nga bëgg a yëngu si affaire yi importation bi da ngaa dem jël sa form nga dem fiil ko nga report lifin ko ñu vet leen ñoo xam ne they are ready and they are compliant they are ready to comply with the at least situation bi ñu jox leen lansin ñoom tamit booga si jaww yi ñu mun a import nekkul ne 1 or 2 or 3 people or only foreigners will be imported our basic commodities so dañ bëgg a encourage Gambians yi tamit ñoo xam ne even su amee little money government bi doole la bank guarantee ak stuff like that nga dem indi fekkee ñaari nit ñooy indi maalo léegi nekk mu nekk 10 people ñoo indi maalo yow ngay uti $10 profit kii mu ngi uti $5 profit kale mu ngi uti $3 profit yow soo seeralee sa lifin bi ñëpp daw they have an alternative mun nañ daw dem si keneen so loolu dafa indi stability indi market dafa tax ne Gambian si seen joytu bi dafa gën a wàññeeku so lii mooy plan bi boo xam ne xam naa ko mu ngi si table bi waaye loolu beneen long term plan bi mu ngi fa mooy 80 millions boobu ma la jungi fi ñu ngi ko defar si maaro Gambian si léegi dañ am maaro growing compagnie boo xam ne maalo la ñoo liggéey
ñu bay
in 2 years time lu ñoo mébét su fekkee dem na noonu incha allah Gambian si dañ am at least 75% food self-sufficiency in this country.
In 2 years?
In 2 years time, yes. So, loolu mooy plan bi. su fekkee dox naa lu mu war a dox. important because xam nga ma control sa
war naa dox parce que lu tax du dox because yéen a koy
man can propose what is post
I know but then
waxee da nga wax comme ay jaam
xam naa loolu
comme yàlla
waaye non inshallah dama am naa fi ngay wax waaye tamit mooy war naa dox parce que nguur moo ko nas waaw boo leen ko nasee bu fekkee ne nguur boobu nekkul sax beneen nguur buy ñëwee na ko continuer parce que xam naa ne nag bugg ngeen nekk fii
waaw ñun bugg nañ continuer ko
waaw
loolu lañ bëgg because ñoo ko initié bëgg nañ koo champion bëgg nañ koo continuer bëgg nañ koo indi askan si at least ñu enjoy ko loolu mooy indi lasting solution.
waaw because waaw ñu bari jàpp nañ ne waaw nga war nañoo def lu bari tamit ci wàllu mbay mi parce que tamit loolu leen mooy solution bi foog ñu bay lu ñoo dundee. ci réew mi bañ a jéggaan yi.
gis nga point bi loolu moo tax.
waaw waaye nag dañ ko yàggaa dégg because tamit. after 4 years
am nga yëfi government bi. luy gaaw noonu foog nga def policy.
waaye nit ñi sonn nañ
ama ne soo amee nit ñi seen xaalis foog nga moytu bul def rek fat yow lii nga xalaat ne comme dictatorship it's not like that foog nga am sa policy nga yóbbu ko si parlement ñoom rectify ko nii understand nga ku nekk def sa jàngat ñu ne it's a very very clean process la nga mën a protect waaye doo mën a dugal nit ñi sa xaalis boo xam ne dafa leerut
dafa leerut te yéen lu leer ngeen bugga
lu leer
ñu ne bari
bëgguñu leen dem
waaye gars yi lu leen dem nag dafa bari de
non dara leen demut ñoo bugga xajamal waaye ñoom ñun suñu affaire yëpp leer na dara leen demut
dafa leer su ko defee mu ngi doon xibaar bi bu luñ mën a jàpp ci wàllum bagage yu seer yeeg ak lu ñuy dundee esa comme ni nga ko waxee xëy na ministre bi dana wax tey wala monde dana wax ak taskat xibaar yi pour ñu jéem a seet yan mesures la ñu teg ci table bi pour ñu seet naka la ñoo wàññi prices yi ndax fii seer na ñu am yaakaar ne loolu dana am incha allah moom suñu waay la saa yu ko soxlee dana yomba mu ñëw ñu waxtaan moo tax ñu indiwaat ko fii boom dafa diggee woon ne nguur gi ñu ngee def dara te ñëw wax nañu li nga xamante ne mooy position nguur gi ci yëf yi fii ak fan ñu ngee toppa di déglu di seet buñ ci déggu dara tamit wala buñ gisut ak yooyu nañ ko indiwaat ñu waxtaan ak moom mu wax ak yéen tamit ci li mu wax ndax xam naa Gambien si bari fu mu nekk ni bëgg nañu dégg xibaar yu mel ni parce que yëf yi tar na lool métti na tamit ci kaw ñëpp am nga na nga ñàkk ñëpp ñoo sonn situation bi moom ñëpp la laal su ko defee ñun noonu la demee su ko defee esa ñu gërëm la bu baax sant la ci waxtaan bi ñu am yaakaar ne luñ ci wax dana njëriñ réew mi njëriñ tamit ñu doon seetaan ñu gërëmaat la bu baax beneen yoon ñu bàyyi la nga jëf sa last kaddu rek
jërëjëf
xam naa tey laaluñ ci MPP waaye garaaw next time
waaw non ma ne laal na MPP because xam nga ne ñun nekkul ne we are not a party like a ruling party yet waaye comme suñu kilifa bi mooy at the helm of affairs so ba tey ñu ngi am yaakaar bu baax Gambian si danañu fal pour under NPP ticket waaye maa ngi ñaax yëpp ma take this opportunity pour ma mun a invite ñëpp elect take care Ramadan lañ nekka it's not like it's going to be humba affaire bu humba waaye comme historical event la Jambur Farato road bi dinañ ci teg xeer bu njëkk bi leen di foundation stone inshallah dinañ ko liggéey diir bu gàtta ñoom tamit seen jafe-jafe bi si affaire yi committee bi mun a saafara.
waaw loolu moom bëgguma see comment waaw after that launching si la ñoo ñëwaat ñu waxtaan ak moom ci loolu ak yeneen bëgguma see laal parce que gars yi am na ñuy wax leneen ay baro government bi moom li gën a bari xeer rek lay teg gisuñ mu inauguré waaye bëggo waaw foog ñu teg xeer balaa ñoo inauguré dara
léegi dañ ñu inauguré ko
waaw léegi
xagalam bi léegi dañ ñu inauguré ko
waaw
even Sukuta road bi Sukuta Nema road bi
léegi tey
mu pare
acca mu ngi noonu su ko defee ñu gërëmaat ko bu baax ni mu teewoo ci studio bi waxtaan ak ñun ak tamit yéen ñi doon seetaan ñu gërëm leen bu baax ci ni ngeen àndee ak ñun depuis Monday ba tey Friday mbégte la saa su ne ñu ñëw fii ñu waxtaan réew mi ñu waxtaan situation réew mi parce que kon ni ma koy waxee saa su ne ñu jàpp ne ci waxtaan rek lañ mun a doxal réew mi mun na ñëw utee gis-gis mun na ñëw disagree to agree ci yëf yi ku ne ak noo ko gisee loolu mooy démocratie waaye li am solo rek mooy Gambia buñ bokk te duñ ko mun a séddoo li ci am solo rek mooy ku ne bay sawaar ñu seet naka la ñoo rebbee réew mi ci kanam ñu ngi ci at bu am solo at élection coow bi dana bëri waaye yàlla moom noppi na ku fee nekkati président wala kuy nekk président moom pare na ci ñun ñoo ci des te ñu demee ci ndànk ak xel ak jàmm incha allah yàlla dina ko def ci weeri koor bi ñu jéggaluwaat leen bu baax di leen ñaanal jàmm di leen wax ramadan mubarak beneen yoon ak tamit juma mubarak tey am ngeen ne bés bu màgg la bés bu sell surtout ñu ngi ci weeri koor jox leen dig daje incha allah next week Monday ci beneen édition ci beneen week ci yeneen waxtaan ak yeneen gan ci yeneen point saa su ne ci réew mi rek la ñooy wax incha allah di leen jaajëfal bu baax di leen wax jërë ngeen jëfati ñu yend ak jàmm jërë ngeen jëf.
Star GSM Electronics special Ramadan promotion starting from April 4th to 15 on all our Sloster home appliances such as two-way gas cooker, microwaves, washing machines, stand fan rechargeable that can last for 8 hours, different stand freezers, deep freezers from 140 to 400 liters,